All right, I think we are live. I hope. I'm still trying to figure out my new laptop or my new desktop, and so I'm trying to make sure I have everything plugged in correctly and that you guys can hear me and all that kind of stuff. So I hope. Thank you guys for being so patient while I figured this out. I had a new computer built and still trying to figure out all the ins and outs and buttons and how it all works. So I'm super excited. Today we're just gonna, hi there. Today we're just gonna have a play day. It has honestly been a pretty rough 3 weeks. I got the COVID, the corona, the whatever you want to call it. And so I have been down and out for literally like 2.5 weeks and just haven't had any playtime in my studio. I've barely been functioning, and so this is my first week to feel normal. And so I thought today would just be a fun day to just show you guys some of the cool things I actually found at the Dollar Tree that work, or we're going to assume they work. So I just thought it would be fun, like I said, just to have some playtime and just show you some new and cool textures that I've found. Because we're just kind of having a play day, I'm actually using one of my larger gel press plates, but of course, these techniques will always work on your Faith Impressions plates or any of your other gel press plates. I'm also going to show you my favorite kind of go-to play paper, and that is this inkjet paper from Office Depot. It's the 28-pound. It's made for digital art, so it's very bright and smooth. Hammermill also makes this paper. That's called a digital copy paper. I just really find that this smooth finish and that works really well with all mediums. It's not super expensive. This one is 500 sheets, and I think it was like 12 bucks, 10 bucks. I'm not even 100% sure. But it's a really great paper. It's a two-fold paper because it's great for playtime because it has a smooth texture. It works well with your mediums, but then if you really, really like it, it's also a heavier weight paper, so it can be easily transitioned into your into really any of your art journals, your Bible journals, any of that kind of thing. So it's a really great multi-purpose paper. So I have got some fun things I found at the Dollar Tree that just thought, let's have some playtime, let's goof off, let's maybe inspire. So if you are a Dollar Tree junkie like I am, throw it in the comments your favorite thing that you've found at the Dollar Tree to use with your gel press plate. Let's inspire each other. I think sometimes art can get almost, the fancy word is cost prohibitive, and that basically just means that people think that they can't do it because it's too expensive, and I think there's always ways to work around that and to be able to still do art without breaking the bank, without feeling like it can never be quote-unquote good enough because you can't spend an exorbitant amount of money. I have an entire rant on my Instagram about that because someone left a comment on one of my projects and saying, hey, I used some inexpensive watercolors, and my friend basically said I shouldn't use cheap products. And I was like, God doesn't care about the cost of your art products. He cares about your heart behind your art, not to be all Dr. Seussy. And so I don't know, I had a moment and I ranted on the Instagram about it. Okay, so first thing we're going to play with and try is, this is a Nonstick Rug Underlay is the fancy word. So it's basically one of those things that you stick underneath your rug so it doesn't slide around. And again, all of this is from, we have Dollar Trees. I guess everyone else might have different kinds of things. I don't know what else they would be called. Dollar Store, Dollar Tree. All right, we're gonna try this a couple different ways. I don't know where all my scissors have gone, or I would cut this smaller. So we're just gonna lay this little guy right on top, and we're gonna first try it as a stencil. So this obviously is very bumpy because it's thick to keep your rug from moving around. So we're gonna give our paper just a really aggressive press. And because of, the fancy word is durometer, because of the squishability, the fact that the gel press plate has that give, it should push up through our quote-unquote stencil. And since it's the first time using it, I did a little sneaky peek to kind of see what it's gonna look like. All right, let's just for giggles see what that looks like. Oh, well, that's fun. That one's cool. So that is kind of trying to use it as a stencil. So now let's see what that ghost print looks like. So let's peel that guy back and use another piece of paper. So this, you're gonna notice, is a little bit bigger than our 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I'm gonna snag it. This is actually one I don't use very often just because, ooh, hit the camera. This is, I just usually don't. This is a 9 by 11 gel press plate that we co-branded with Ranger. So if you're someone that wants to cover entire pieces of paper and the 8 by 10 isn't quite big enough for you, because you know, obviously 8 by 10 you're going to end up with a little bit of a halo around it. This is a great one because you can see my paper fits perfectly on this. All right, let's see what the negative of that looks like. Ooh, yeah, y'all, that one's fun. So that's cool. Love that. All right, let's try that again with 2 colors. Let's see what 2 colors do. So we have a few more people that have joined. Welcome, guys. So for those of you that are just jumping on, we are having a play day because I've been sick, and this is honestly the first time I have touched paint or done anything creative whatsoever in almost 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks. And so I just really wanted to play, and we're specifically playing with some different textures that I found at the Dollar Tree, which if you follow me on YouTube, I actually have a series that is all about Dollar Tree Bible journaling. And so if you are a Dollar Tree junkie and you have some ideas for things that you like to get, either for art journaling, Bible journaling, whatever it happens to be, leave those in the comments. Let's inspire each other to find some cool goodies and stuff. All right, so we're going to, oops, lay this little guy down, and then I'm actually gonna snag just a rag and kind of dot up my color in a few places. I don't know if this is gonna work because this is pretty thick, so. And sometimes you just need playtime. I think, you know, we've kind of talked about that before, about when we're in mental blocks, emotional blocks, maybe spiritual blocks, it sometimes gets hard to create. And so this is where kind of just playtime, playing on your gel press plate, kind of gives you a little bit of that creative release, but you're not trying to come up with really grandiose projects and that kind of stuff. You're more just trying to get it out. Was this the scariest thing I've played with? We were not friends for the first I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to use something today during this playtime where I'm going to be like, so glad that only cost $1 because I will never use it again. But again, that's why we like the Dollar Tree. So in those little spots I kind of lifted, I'm just adding just some little sploppies of orange and just lightly moving them around, mainly just to kind of fill in that little spot. And hopefully they will, and then here, there, add some orange in. Let's see what that looks like. So I'm just super excited just to be able to play and just have fun and really just always inspire that art is for everyone and that it doesn't have to cost a fortune. We know that, if you know me at all, you know that I am, I don't want to say a cheap person, I am a thrifty person, and I think that a lot of that just comes from kind of how I was raised. Let's see what this one looks like. Ooh, that's fun. I like that. So we get a little splotches of orange. I should have rolled that orange a little bit more because I ended up with some really dark spots, but I think that's fun. I think that's super cool. That'd be a cool underwater kind of scene. But I think my thriftiness definitely comes from childhood, which I think, you know, doesn't all of our I don't want to say issues, but doesn't all of our stuff come from childhood? Because we were, we were poor a lot of my childhood. I mean, when I was 10, my parents lost, hey there, welcome. When I was 10, my parents lost everything and we went bankrupt and went from living on in a 3,000 square foot house with 5 bedrooms on a lake, our own dock and all that kind of stuff. We went from that to living in a barn behind my uncle's house. And so I think I've kind of always been trained from that young age just to be a little more thrifty, a little more mindful. I will say there are times where it's become a detriment. Hey there, welcome. Because I won't spend money when I should and that kind of thing. And so they called it in therapy money insecurity. And it just stems from childhood of not having anything, losing everything. And so even to this day, my poor husband has to be really careful with how he speaks about money because I get really insecure about money really easily. But you know, me and Jesus have been working through that. And so, but I think that's where a lot of my need to have art be accessible to everyone. All right, so while I was chatting about my childhood, so welcome to it. Y'all know I'm all about just being honest, and that's just part of my story. So I have this really cool, it's actually a silicone brush cleaner, but look how cool not only the texture, but the shape of this little guy is, and it has like little handles on the back. So isn't that fun? So we're gonna play with that. So again, it's a silicone brush cleaner. So we're gonna use our little handles here. I don't know, let's see. Give it a little squishy. Ooh, that's fun. Am I putting quite a bit of paint on? Yeah, I think I tend to be a little heavier with my paint than a lot of people. Only because I really, okay, y'all, that's really, did y'all just see that just happen? Sorry, I'll finish my question, your question in a second. But look, and it makes a perfect stamp. Okay, that is so fun. I'm going to have to use that in a video. I do tend to be a little heavier with my paint, and that's for a couple reasons. Number one, I feel like it gives better impressions and it gives better, better texture. And also, I live in Arkansas, and sometimes the heat can make my paint dry faster, and so it can cause my paint to dry a little bit faster. So I do tend to add a little bit more paint than maybe other people who live in more of like a humid climate. This is super fun, by the way. I'm making kind of this repeated pattern kind of thing. So got a brush cleaner a long time ago. Every place needs a Dollar Tree or a dollar store or whatever you call it. Is it the same everywhere? I don't even know. Does every... And I have to say, this little... I was being very specific and then I got over that. The little... Because it suctions, you probably can't hear it. Hey, Renee! You probably can't hear it, but it kind of suctions a little bit, and the little thingies on the back are great for pulling that up. All right, let's add a couple more. One more little sploppy right here. If you're meticulous, you could have made this such a pretty repetitive background, but we all know I'm not always the most meticulous person in the world. All right, let's see how our diamonds look. That is super fun. I think someone said they found one that was a mermaid tail, and I want to say I thought there was another one. I can't remember if it was a mermaid tail or not. But that would be super fun to use on this as well. Oh, not that. I'm going to use this so I don't get... Why am I caring about whether I get paint on my hands or not? Amber talking about, you guys read Amber's comment saying that she's going to stand out like a total tourist when she comes to the U.S. It's okay. We would do the same thing if we came to visit you. All right, let's pull that up and see what that looks like. Ooh, y'all, that's fun. Look. Okay, now I really want to actually be meticulous and make a repeated pattern with that. Because that is super cool. And of course, you're noticing I'm not cleaning in between. Because, you know, I like the kind of mix and match and the little hints of color and the grunge. Okay, so far we've played with a non-slip rug thingy. We have played with a brush cleaner. Okay, so this one is a funny one, and it looks a little rough. So this is actually a cat scratch board. And unfortunately, my beautiful, beautiful doggo got a hold of it. How did he know that it was a cat? I don't know. So he ate it, a big chunk of it. It used to be a square, but look how cool this corrugated texture is. So I think we're still fine to use it. It just, you know, has some Bubba love for you guys on it. So he loves you. So he nom-nommed it a little bit and gave you guys some love. Yes, I will say I love him to death. He is squeezable. He is lovable. If you haven't seen a picture of him, I'll post one. But bulldogs are notorious like chewers. And so we cannot leave a lot of things laying out and accessible to his cute little puppy jaws because he will nom it up. And so I had a book I left out, and it basically looked like it exploded in his crate because I left it out where he could get to it. Still haven't replaced that book, and I still don't know what happened in it. All right, so let's just use this as a stampy. Oh, yeah, that's so fun. And you know what? So we can get some fullness. I'm just going to flip that little guy around, and then I'm going to add a little bit of texture different right there. And this is basically just corrugated cardboard that they've kind of added in like a little repeating fashion. So you could probably DIY something like this, but why DIY it when you can do it for $1? Yay! Okay, let's add this. And I know there's some little grungy bits of that jade and that turquoise on there, so that will add some nice little yummy bits to it. And again, if you're just joining us, since we're having some playtime and I wanted to cover full sheets of paper, I'm using the 9x11 gel press plate that we co-branded with Ranger. It's great because it gives you a full coverage. Parents, oh, your parents breed bulldogs? Oh my gosh. Which means you get to see cute bulldog puppies like all the time. Ooh, yes, I love this. Look how cool that one is. I love that. Yes, that is going to be some cool texture in an art journal. Oh, yay! That is cool. Let's see, let's try something else. Let's do, I'm looking at my colors. I just grabbed a few. I didn't grab a bunch of colors to paint so I wouldn't overwhelm myself. I'm so jealous that you get to see little bulldog puppies all the time. So our little puppy, his name is Bubba. He was 9 weeks old when we got him and weighed 13 pounds. His full name is Bubba Hamilton Salee because his birthday is the same day as Alexander Hamilton, and we are big Hamilton the musical fans. And so he, that's his name. And we got him, he was 9 weeks old and 13 pounds. And now he is, ooh, you're gonna make me math. 16 months old, so just over a year, and is 75 pounds. Him is a chunky boy. All right, I'm gonna snag just an extra little plate here to use kind of just as a palette, because I'm going to see what we can do here. I'm gonna add this bright orange and just kind of lightly brayer it across here. And we're gonna go back to our little scratchy post guy here and add that orange. Let's see how well that'll work. Oh, it works better if I stamp over here, so good to know. So we're kind of doing, it almost is turning into like a brick pattern. Yes, he is a thick boy. I can't even, well, I can pick him up if it's like desperation, but, and you should see this, us try to give this thick boy a bath because he absolutely hates the water. He is like a cat when it comes to the water. He absolutely despises it. Even when it's raining, he won't go out and go potty. And so when it's raining, we call him Princess Prissy Paws because he doesn't like to go out even to go potty in the rain. It's ridiculous. So this again is called a cat scratch board. And it is kind of funny how you kind of start when you get into playing with your gel press plate and just kind of monoprinting and enjoying your playtime, how you kind of start to look at the world differently because you start looking at patterns differently and going, I wonder if I can print with that. I remember years ago whenever I first started with gel press, oh gosh, it would have been like 5 years ago, 6 years, I don't know, math, something like that. My youngest daughter was still into like playtime and dress up, and she had these super, super cute Minnie Mouse shoes, and the bottom was this really cool hexagon, and so I stole them from her to use in a project, because why not? Love! That is so fun! That is great. Yay! Okay, so we've played with 3 things. Let's see what else I can. So y'all are gonna laugh. So the last time I went to the Dollar Tree, I just did a big, just buy a bunch of random stuff and see how it goes kind of thing. I didn't really have a plan. I spent like, I think it was like $45 or $50 at the Dollar Tree. I mean, you could practically buy a Dollar Tree for that. But I just wandered around it for like, probably like 30, 45 minutes. I'm just kind of picking up some of this wet paint. Just looking and trying to find some new fun and inventive stuff. And so, yeah, I spent a lot at the Dollar Tree. Okay, so let's play with something else. I can't take credit for this one. I actually saw somebody else in another group use this, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, I have to have it. So it's actually a paintbrush and pencil organizer from their little craft thing. But look how cool this is. Is that not awesome? And then the base looks just a little bit different. I mean, that's like 2 for the price of 1, because, you know, you have 2 different shapes. All right, so let's play with that. And don't forget, if you have any things you found at the Dollar Tree that you use in your Bible journaling, your art journaling, your gel pressing, leave it in the comments and inspire the rest of us to kind of go looking. I just love the idea of just kind of looking at the world differently and just finding cool stuff everywhere. Or if you found something at some place other than the Dollar Tree that's maybe not your typical art stuff, leave that in the comments too. I'd be interested in seeing. Or we could have a contest. What is the weirdest thing you've ever used on your gel press plate for a pattern? That would be super fun. Okay, so let's use this guy kind of like a stamp, I guess. Is that the side I want? Yes. So we're gonna go stamp. Give that a stamp. Ooh, I love this. Let's just do 3. They're kind of hard for you guys to see because they're so thin, but you'll see them when we do the pull. So this is a paintbrush and pencil organizer. I mean, and the fact that it's only $1 anyway is pretty awesome. Even from an organizing standpoint, I'm not the most, in case you haven't figured it out, I'm not the most organized person in the world. My son was in here helping me yesterday, helping me do my set up my new computer because he built it and all that kind of stuff, and he literally goes, "Mama, you need to clean this place up." And I was like, "I have been sick for 2.5 weeks." He goes, "That means it should have stayed clean." And I was like, "Well, that's true." That color green is Folk Art Multi-Surface, which is my favorite go-to craft paint, and it is called Lime Green. So you can kind of see that one. Folk Art Multi-Surface is one of my faves. Ooh, that came out real clean. Look how clean my plate is. That's cool. Love that. I think I should have put some more over there, but that's okay. That's half the fun. I wonder if I could do, hold on, we're going to try something. I'm going to go a little darker. See if I can do like an offset kind of situation with that. And if you're not familiar with that, that just basically means I'm going to put it down, put my my texture down, and then shift it just a little bit and see if we can get like a 3D kind of thing with it. Okay, so I got that braid on there nicely. And let's take this guy. I think the back side is a little bit thicker. Am I wrong? I might be crazy. It could just be my brain. So we're gonna put it down and then scooch it to the side just a little bit. Gonna get some of that off. So scoochy it to the side just a little bit. So it's making our image just a little thicker on one side. There we go. Okay, and we are, normally I'm not big on letting it dry, but I am gonna let this dry just a smidge and hit it with the paper from my little organizer, because I really want those images to stay crispy. It doesn't have to be all the way dry, just mostly. And then we're gonna hit it with another color and just see what it does. There we go. I don't know if this is gonna work, but that's half the fun of this. Is going, that's a good idea, that's a bad idea. All right. Let's see what this does. Some Martha Stewart paint. So very gently, we're gonna go over with this color. There we go. Turn the brayer off over here. There we go. And you can see I'm a kind of a, hubby's gonna think you're crazy buying the cat scratch thing, and we don't have any cats either. So yeah. I almost bought something else in the pet aisle, and it was some kind of cat toy, but I wasn't 100% sure if it would do what I wanted it to do, but it was still super fun to look at. So I tend to be a hands-on person when it comes to this kind of thing. Some people prefer, mainly so they keep their hands clean, unlike me, to use their brayer to kind of give it a nice little smooth out. And then there are other things called a brazier, I believe is what it's called. I don't own one, but it's basically a flat, solid, smooth surface that you just rub on something like this. To me, ooh, love that. Look how, love that. Look how cool that looks. And those paints did such a beautiful job giving coverage on that. And it pulled up some of my little extra paints that were left over from something else. So that's fun. And again, you can see, look, I mean, as you look at the prints we're doing, using this 8 or this 9 by 11 is perfect for getting solid prints with your, if you're using an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Love that. Okay, let's see, what else do I have? And when we get towards the end a little bit, I'm gonna mix and match some stuff, and then we'll do some little of this, little of that. Okay, so this is one of my favorites that I found, and I hope it works the way it does in my brain. This is a bath mat, non-slip kind of thingy, but look how cool that is. And it almost has like 2 textures because it's got a bubble raised surface kind of thing. So let's try that guy next. And this is some of my favorite things to do is, I think we've definitely discussed it before, of just sitting down and not worrying about coming up with a project or a finished whatever. I don't know, I find it kind of de-stressing and relaxing, and because it just takes the pressure off of having to get something done. And as someone who does this for a living, it can get a little hard sometimes because you always want to put forth your best and you always want to come up with something new and inventive. But sometimes your brain doesn't work that way. All right, so I've got a really bright, I don't even remember what color this was. Oh, it's Blackberry from Adina Wakely. And let's grab our little guy here. And let's see, let's do the back side of it first. So I'm gonna try to squish him down without messing with my paint too much. So give him a nice little... The weirdest thing Brenda has ever used is a thing that clams come in. I had to wash it really good to get the smell off. I can only imagine. So was it similar to Cheryl, who is our Fearless Gel Press leader, has used the bags that like onions come in for something similar to that, I bet. Okay, let's see what that does. Let's give it another smooshy. Okay, we're gonna just brayer that sucker down. Oh no, I got the tag under there. Well, we're gonna end up with a weird spot right there. But I actually got the tag underneath it. My bad. Come on. Yeah. It's like non-sticking, like suctioning to my gel press plate. Ooh, this one's gonna be fun. All right, let's apply our paper. This is so fun. And when you do playtime like this, it's great because it doesn't take a whole lot of materials, just a few colors of paint, your gel press plate, a brayer, and then kind of whatever goodies you want to play with. All right, give that a nice little rub-a-dub. Ooh, I love that. Look at that. That is cool. It almost is like a tile kind of thing. Used your ring and doorknobs. Oh, doorknobs could be fun. Ooh, how hard was it to get the paint and stuff out of your rings? That would be the hard part. Okay, so that was the back of the mat. So let's try using the top or the front of the mat and see if we get any kind of different texture. I'm loving this mixture of green and blue and purple little remnant right here because it has that Halloween kind of feel. You know, because Halloween has kind of gotten that bright purple, green, and orange color scheme over the last decade or so. All right, so just smoothing that on and clean it off. All right, let's see what the other side does. So the back side was more flat. The front side definitely is more like bubbly. So you used an apple. So how did your apple stamp or your apple texture come out? Did it feel apple-y? Did it look apple-y? Or did you just end up with a painted apple? All right, let's see what that does. Oops, hit my camera. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, this one's fun. Let's see what this one does. So that is a non-stick bath mat. Just kind of giving it some rubby-dub. The back's kind of looking cool too. Okay. All right, so using the front keeps definitely more paint, but it's still super cool. So this is the same thing. This is just using the back, and this is using the front. Both give you kind of that dot within a circle kind of texture, but kind of a little bit different. So you get a more bold color or you get a more grungy textured print. So that's a 2-for-1 special with that one. So that's awesome. All right, let's see what else I've got in my stash from the dollar store. Oh, there we go. So these are 100% polyester doilies. Doilies is just a fun word to say. So they are, it's a 2-pack, so you and your friend can go halvesies if you want to. So it is very much a traditional kind of lacy doily kind of thing. So let's see what we can do with that one. And that's going to be super cool too because we've got that purple left on there from the color before, and so it's going to add some nice grunginess to it. I have a weird chunk of paint on my ruler. Okay, we're gonna just spread that out. Ooh, snapple. All right, and let's just gently apply. I'm trying to keep the tag out. Can I rip the tag off? I can rip the tag off. Ugh. There we go. And kind of lay that down. And actually, let's see if we can get 2 for the price of 1. So I'm gonna give that a really hard press through my doily. Brenda, it's your birthday! Happy birthday! That's exciting! So I'm just trying to pick up the paint that is peeking through. So it, you know, it's dots. It's not bad. And then we're gonna go a little crazy. I'm actually going to use my little extra palette again and give it a nice little smoosh through those open holes. Ooh, it's rolling with my brayer. This might not have been a good idea, but that's okay. That's half the fun. It's like picking up whenever I try to roll over it. Ah. All right, we'll see how this works. Lift that up. Give it a nice little rubby-dubby. Love. There's something so like tactilely satisfying about doing it. So the doily is actually polyester, so it is super sturdy. So I think it'll just dry. It should just dry, and then I could reuse it, or I could reuse it even while it's wet, I guess. But yeah, it's actually polyester, and it was in the kitchen section at the Dollar Tree. Ooh, that's fun. Look at that. That's super cool. It picked up a little more of the color than I expected it to, but maybe that's a polyester thing. I don't know. But I love the effect of the texture and the colors and the little bits of purple that are left on there. That is cool. Okay, let's try the doily thing again just because that was fun. Let's see. Let's use this color. And the doilies come in a 2-pack, so you can texture plastic placemats. Yes, placemats are good. Our Walmart here, partially, I don't know if you guys have them yet, but since we live in Walmart capital of the world, they tend to test out stuff. So a lot of our Walmarts, and yours might, I don't know, but they have like kind of like Target's dollar spot. So it's a couple of them are trying out like just dollar stuff, and then some of them go up to like $5, kind of like the Target thing. But there's always fun stuff in there. And I always wander through it because it changes. So I don't know if you guys have them yet, but they're testing them just like Target. All right, I love this yellow color. I don't use this brand a lot. It's funny enough, it's from Target, but it's the handmade modern one that comes in like these little guys, and the colors are really pretty. I'm not a fan of the having to get something to dish it out kind of thing. Maybe I'm lazy. I don't know. But yeah, works pretty good. So this time we're just gonna do just a nice little light smoosh. And my hand is picking up a little bit of paint, but that's okay. And we're gonna see what we can lift up just in this kind of flower thing. I'm just gonna reuse this paper. This is just a nothing fancy, single color kind of deal. to see what kind of texture we can get just from that. A painted apple and smoosh. Okay, so note to self, don't try to gel press plate print with an apple. You just end up with smoosh. Yes, Miss Brenda, you could buy a Dollar Tree almost for your birthday. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Ooh, that's cool. Ooh. So you can see where it lifted, the doily lifted. You can see the leftover of that dark turquoise kind of color. That's some good grunge right there, y'all. Love that. So just so you guys can kind of see the two side by side. I mean, they're both equally really cool. I mean, just look at the texture you got just from a doily. Love that. All right, let's dig in my bag of goodies. See what else I got in here. Cool. Forgot about these. So I found these little, I guess they're just dish rags, microfiber scrubbers. And they have this kind of texture on the back. And a little, you know, I don't know, we'll see if we can pull any texture from the front as well. All right, let's see what we can do. Let's go blue again. So if this has taught you anything, it's that Dollar Tree is your friend. I actually remember somebody else as well, and if you're on, give a shout out to yourself. Someone said that rather than purchasing acrylic plates for their gel press, or doing the Lowe's thing, which is what I did, they actually went to their Dollar Tree and went to the picture frame section. And the picture frames there don't have glass fronts, they have acrylic sheets, so acrylic quote unquote glass in them. And they said that's what they use for their gel press plates. So that's a great thrifty thing to know too. Just go look there for that. Okay, so we're gonna try the back part first. See what we can do. Give it a little pat here. Ooh, that's fun. It's almost like a seashell. Was that Brenda that said about using her acrylic, an acrylic photo frame? Okay, that was such a genius idea, because that's even cheaper, because I thought mine was pretty good. Mine was like $3.50 from Lowe's. But yeah, if you just need a bigger one, that's perfect. So this is the back of like a scrubber kind of thing. Oh yes, that gives us almost like a fishnet kind of situation. Look how cool that is. Oh my gosh, I love that. Oh look, and you can see that you can still see, so you get your texture, but then you have that, since it has this kind of bar square texture, you could totally see that too. That was unexpected. That's so fun. Cool. Okay, let's see if we get any texture from just the brown side. That could be interesting. Let's see. And like I said earlier, of course, all of these techniques work on any of your gel press plates, your Faith Impressions, your large, your small, your petites. I just thought since we were having playtime, we would just bring out one of the biggies just to kind of make it easier for you to see. I made Mardi Gras almost on my little brayer sheet over here. Okay, so let's see. So we did this side. Let's see if we do just the brown side, what it'll do. Give it a light, ooh, it's a little sticky. The paint is trying to stick to my hands. I don't know if this will do anything, but let's just see. Okay, okay, I can see it from there. Let's see. Give it a nice little smoosh. And a nice little rub. And obviously these are super, super basic ideas because you can mix and match colors. We might try and play, and you can layer things on top of things. Yay! Look, so this is just the brown side. You can see it definitely gave us that square pattern. And this was using the back, the scrubby side, which you still get a little bit of that square pattern, kind of like as a ghost in the background. And then this is using the front. So you get texture from the nubbiness of the dish towel, and then the square detail gives you that extra bit of pattern and texture. This is so fun, friends! Okay, let's see what else I got in my bag of goodies. Let's see, what else did I buy? I'm looking for, oh, there it is. What else did I buy? Oh, that's for something else. Oh! Not this. Okay, sorry, digging through stuff. So I have a couple other things to show you. So this is similar to your nonstick bath mat, but this is a little bit smaller of a texture. It's the stuff that you use in pantry liners so your food doesn't slide around, or your drawer liners, that kind of thing. So let's play with, oh, I have a red. Oh, I don't like that one. We're gonna stick with this. So this one's going to do a very similar thing to our nonstick rug thingy. It's just going to be a little bit smaller of a texture. Ugh, I just love how well this paint works on a gel press plate. It just makes my heart happy. All right, so let's just lay our little guy right here. Let's see. I'm gonna do it this way. Just be able to press it down a little bit. Okay. That's fun. Right, give that a nice little press. And peel. Ooh, look at that. So Amber, definitely more paint. That's what I learned. Yes. I know it is kind of weird, especially if you're dealing with acrylic, because it is a water-based medium. It does sometimes depend on where you live. So that last texture was this shelf liner thing. I guess it's called, I think it's called a shelf liner. But that is something that if you deal with acrylic paint a lot, oh, go make supper, Amber. Go make something yummy. Thanks for joining us. So something you just kind of learn as you play with your gel press plate and get used to it is that your environment really does matter. Like when we, the last, well, I guess it's been like a year and a half now. The last time we had Creativation, which is the big trade show, we had it was in Arizona, and Arizona is a completely different climate from Arkansas. So I was using my normal amount of paint that I would use here in Arkansas, and it was drying like super, super fast. And so I kind of had to learn the hard way to play a little bit and figure out the best amount of paint for your environment and where you, and that kind of thing. So just kind of keep that in mind if you travel or in that kind of thing, or if you're watching somebody and you're like, oh, I love their technique, and you try to do it exactly like it. Acrylic paint can be a little finicky sometimes when it comes to dealing with temperatures and particularly humidity. Okay, so what time is it? We're at 55 minutes. Y'all, this has been so fun. It doesn't even seem like it's been 55 minutes. So I found one other thing I wanted to try. And so we're going to use our cat scratchy guy here. Give him some texture. There we go. And then I found these. So if you are someone who has been looking for deli paper, or you want to try it, they have these cute, I don't know why I think they're cute. So they're literally like to put in between your hamburgers, but they are individual little sheets of deli paper. So if you're not familiar with deli paper, just basically imagine like wax paper, but without the wax. And what it does is it works just like you would like a regular piece of paper, but it's thin and slightly transparent, so you can do just some really cool layering of your prints. And so I'm hoping, oh, that was super satisfying to watch if you watch that like suction down on there. Ooh, doo, 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 doo. And so just kind of applying this. So using deli paper, I don't know how you can hear it, but it's very thin. But once you start layering your prints, you'll start getting just these really cool depth and dimension, because your underlying prints will pop through your prints you have on top. It's super popular to use, but this was just a super fun way to try it, because I bought it, and I bought like a giant thing from Sam's. Let me see if I can grab it over here real quick. So this is what I bought. It's called dry wax paper. I had to buy 2 of these, and there's 500 sheets in it. And I think it was like, I don't even know, 12 or 13 bucks, something like that. So this, super cute, super easy, easier to store, and you get basically, you get the same thing. All right, so I'm kind of just using an extra piece of paper to smush these down a little bit. And then cool. So you get your texture, you get your color, and it's just a different medium that allows you to, I'm just kind of trying to set these to the side, that just allows you to layer your prints in a different way and add a little bit different of a texture because it is so thin. So just something extra to play with. I mean, and if you don't love it, you're only out $1, so yay. All right, let's go back in. You know what? Let's leave that. Let's add this carrot color, and we'll use that to pick up this blue that's left on there. I hope you guys have had as much fun as I have today, and it just inspires you to kind of look at the world differently. I mean, we all, or most people, you know the trick of using like bubble wrap or something like that, but it's just really cool to kind of look at the world and find just something new and different that just doesn't break the bank, but you can still make cool art. Yay! All right, let's see what that does. So I had the leftover blue, and then I'm just added some yellow contrasting color on top. and giving that just a nice rub-a-dub. And my hands are beautiful. That makes me so happy. I was gonna paint my nails, but I never got around to it. Oh yes, that's cool. That turned out really cool. Look at that. So you've got the yummy leftover texture. You kind of got those weird lines that were in between our little squares. So let's go back over our prints real quick in case you need to make a list, or I can make a list for you of what we used today. So this was using deli paper and our little cat scratch post thingy. This was our shelf liner. So it gives you just a really great petite image there. This was our, I can't remember what they were called. They were microfiber scrubbing dish towels. So this is the back of it, the scrubby side. And then this was the front kind of soft washcloth side. All right, then we did our polyester doilies a couple different ways. This one where we picked up some of the image through it and got a little more heavy on our pressure, so it picked up more of our paint. And then this one was just a light pressure with the yellow contrasting and picking up our extra paint that was left on there. I love that a lot of these are like 2-for-1s that you can get just really completely different images. I mean, things like the doily, you wouldn't even know that that was the same thing. All right, so here is our Nonstick Shower Mat. That's correct. This is the back of it where it has kind of the suction side. And then this is the front of it that has more of like the little domed bubbles to give you some extra texture. And let's see. This was our paint and pen organizer. Just kind of trying some different things. Love. And this was our cat scratching post. That's what it's called, cat scratch board. Sorry. So this was a single color, and then this was adding some orange to the cat scratch board. Weird things to say. Before we stamped it on there. And then this was our brush cleaning, what is it exactly? Silicone brush cleaner, our little diamond print. And then Renee said that she had found one that was a mermaid tail, which would make for super, super pretty as well. And then this was our little stamp off. So it actually works super great as a stamp and as that negative image. So that is super awesome. I really can't wait to use this in a Bible journaling page. That's going to be really cool. And then, last but not least, this was our Nonstick Rug grippy thing. I don't remember exactly what the name of it was. So this was just keeping it super simple. Actually, so we did this one first, where we put our paint down, put our grippy thing down, and this was kind of the negative space coming through. Just a fun little dot pattern. This was what was left from when we did this guy. And then this was lightly pressing it down, and then once we removed it, adding a contrasting color in that orange. So let's see, we made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 prints in our hour of playtime just using cool stuff that I found at the Dollar Tree. So I hope this super inspires you to go out and look at the world differently and finding just some really cool textures and things that Doesn't have to cost a lot, and you can just make really cool and inventive things. What's great about these is now I've got all of these, and I can either put them in my art journals, or I can even trim them and still use them in my Bible for Bible journaling. And so I've got a nice little stack to work off of. So I'm super excited to now turn these into some art. So I think we are done with this for today. I'm so glad you guys came and joined me, and we're super chatty and talkative. That always makes my heart happy. So until next live, guys, you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you guys in the group later. I'll post some pictures of these later today, so if you want to look at them, and I'll post a complete written list of all of the textures that we use. That way you don't have to remember it all. Thank you guys so much, and have an amazing day.